Super stoked. We got Evans and Ellen. Come on in. Super stoked. My name's Samuel Leeds. We got in the house Evans and Ellen here. This guy made financially free in 7 days. Now I'm gonna get an update from these folks. What's happening?
Yes! What's happening?
Good to see you. Hello. These guys have got energy next level. Welcome. How you guys doing?
Oh, we are so pumped, so excited.
Oh yeah. You lived here for a week.
I did. This is my second home.
Oh, I love it. Let's get an update. Let's get the kettle on. You got some champagne.
Yes!
My name is Samuel Leeds, and this week you may have seen Evans, who I went to his house. I helped him become financially free, and he became financially free in 7 days flat. And people were like, is this real? How did this work? I'd love to have an update in a few months' time. Well, guess what? I got him in my house right now. Evans and his wonderful girlfriend, Ellen. Great to have you guys in my house. What is happening?
We are great. First things first, we have privilege to be here in your house.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
It's super exciting. I mean, to say it's a dream is an understatement. We actually saw a video of somebody in Winners on a Wednesday. That's the main thing that made us feel like we can do it.
We said one day we'll be here on the sofa on a Wednesday.
Yeah, one day is today.
That's so great. And listen, firstly, massive congratulations on your success, because what happened in that week was like 0 to hero. It was just absolutely incredible. For anyone that's not watched the video, I'd suggest after you've watched this video, go back and watch it. But what was the process of having me come and stay at your house for a week? How did you get that to happen? Did you get picked randomly? Did I see you in the street and just point at, how did that happen? How did it come about?
Well, it was definitely a big price. I definitely paid a big price to come here. For those who didn't watch, there was obviously, you put a post applying for the eviction, which I fought twice about applying. Eventually, I actually applied. I got shortlisted to a video. Through the video, I actually went through the selection. I really want to make a statement and just show individuals that it doesn't really matter where you came from. Out of the 10, we went through an immense, training and, I'm stressed to get here, but yep, I got here for that by pretty much being one of the winners of the eviction. And I got 7 days, and that 7 days was my 7 days of magic. Just really changed every single thing in my life.
Yeah, and people ask me every day, literally, probably every hour, can you do a financial freedom challenge with me? Can you come and live with me for a week and help me become financially free? Because I'm kind of famous for it. I'm famous for starting again from scratch, becoming financially free. I'm famous for going and helping other people do the same thing. But I think what's really important is, number one, if you want to get my attention, you got to do stuff first. You went through the eviction process, and even to get on the eviction, you applied, you did a video, you put yourself out there. Endrit, same story. They all massively put themselves out there. And also another thing is, you don't need me to come and live in your house to become financially free. It's me coming to stay with you. It's not like a lottery ticket. You've got to put the effort in yourself. I'm not going to just feel sorry for somebody who's not taking any action and go, oh, go on then, let's have a try. I can't make anyone financially free. The only person that can make someone financially free is that person themselves. All I can do is assist and encourage and show the way to. So I think, for anyone that's watching this that's thinking, Samuel, can you come and stay with me? I'd say, don't wait for me to come and stay in your house. Get to the crash course. 100%. Do the possible, right? You make one step, I make 10.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny that you say that, because I actually had the same convo with someone today. They were like, how can I get into the circle? How can I be with Samuel and, just like you? I'm just like, look, man, Samuel didn't pick me because I'm the best looking guy or we're very good friends or we have anything in common. Yep, 100%. I'm just like, look, man, I paid an unbelievable price. And even if right now you're not getting selected, but I really believe that, opportunity meets preparation. If you're getting ready, if you're doing the things that you can control, you have videos every single day for free on YouTube. Start off there. Then pay £1, come to the crash course, get some more knowledge. And if you think you want to go one step above, find the money, do the training. Yeah. That's it. Anyone can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, you got lucky by putting yourself in the right place at the right time with the support of Ellen, your girlfriend. Came on the eviction, got to the final, And then I just spontaneously decided I was going to do a financial freedom challenge with all 3 of the finalists, which, by the way, was, oh my goodness, was freaking exhausting. By the time your one finished, I was like, I have to do another 2 of these. Holy moly. Just finished my 3rd one, and my wife then had a baby. So like now, I'm like 2nd, 3rd day on paternity, and I can't believe that this year I've done it, because it's the hard weeks, right?
Oh, it's definitely.
Can you believe I did 3 of them?
I mean, I can't believe because I know the guys, but if I didn't know the guys, I'd be like, I can't believe that you physically did that because it's definitely exhausting. So that week I spent with you, I mean, it's not directly, but indirectly, I just learned, like, even now you're winning so big and you just, at the intensity that you're working, like, I'm obliged to work at that same level, so it's incredible.
I remember you saying to me in that week, you were like, I used to think that I worked hard.
Yeah.
You know. Ellen, what did you think then? So I come around the house, you knew I was coming to the house, but your parents didn't, right? So you're living at Evans with Ellen's parents. You didn't tell them I was coming. I come round, I'm like, hey, I'm here to help Evans become financially free, coming to live with you.
I'm so sorry. It looks like it might be a bit tricky this week. I'm awfully sorry.
No, I understand. So there's 0 chance I'll be able to sleep in the shed.
It looks that way, yeah.
You know, isn't it wonderful? And your parents are like, whoa, what the heck, what's this? Right, what from your point of view, tell me about that evening, Ellen, and what happened.
Oh, they felt so bad after. They felt so bad. They were like, we rejected Samuel Leeds and he was so lovely. But yeah, it was just like crazy times, I guess, with, you know, where we're at right now. But no, like, I mean, we just maybe we're being too positive. We always just think like, just try and it's just gonna work out somehow. Like,
you kind of took the you know, it's a good saying where it says you're better to get forgiveness than permission.
Yes,
but easy to ask forgiveness. But the problem was you still needed permission. You just thought better to just cross your fingers and hope you'll get permission at the last second. So basically, I come round the house and your parents are like really nice, very very sweet. I come in for a cup of tea, but then with the pandemic, with the jobs, the house, the restrictions, your parents are like, we just cannot have you living here for a week. The only exception would be if you sleep in the shed, which of course you won't do. And I'm like, I will. I'll go in the shed. And then you guys are like, oh, okay, let me think on that one then. I'm like getting all excited about staying in the shed. And it's like, second thoughts, yeah, you can't stay in the shed either. So I don't know what else to say. Kind of awkward. Funny thing is as well, in some of the comments, you know, I saw a couple comments which I was quite sad about. They were like, oh, why would the parents not let them? Almost as if your parents aren't supportive. I was thinking, I know your parents. Like, they're the most supportive people ever. And I love the way, when they were typing that went live, like, wow, the parents, why aren't they supporting? I was thinking, you wait, because it was actually your dad that then joint ventured with Evans on deal, which is just a full circle, beautiful story. You know, so that was the awkward start. What was going on in your head, Evans, when that all happened?
Do you know what? You know the main reason why I did it, because I can never forget. I was 15 years old and I was playing football. My mom is very protective. She's like, don't play football, you'll break your leg. So I was playing football without she knowing. So the crazy thing that happened is I actually made the national football team for the under 19s at the time. And she never knew about it. And we had to fly to Trinidad, right? So what I did is I applied for a passport, all the stuff she didn't know about it. The day we were flying to Trinidad, I got the coach and the entire football team to drive to my house, then come upstairs, speak to my mom, and then ask my mom if I can go to Trinidad. Because then if I asked her, she would say no. So I'm like, that actually worked. I actually did go to Trinidad.
I'd be very scared if I was Ellen, though. What could he do next, you know? Right.
So I said, look, if Samuel Leeds comes to my house and says, look, I'm going to help your son, Evans, become rich, why would they say no? Obviously, that clearly didn't work out. But
it still worked in the end. If you just believe and do everything you can, it'll work out.
But yeah, it's true. It kind of worked out. But Evans' face, though, because I was genuinely thinking we might have to reschedule this.
God.
yeah.
And
When
Evans
you
was
said that,
like,
my heart-
I could see in his face, his heart just sank right to his stomach.
Oh, God.
You know, were you thinking at one point, Evans, that genuinely we might have to reschedule?
Yeah. But I mean, I was willing to literally do everything, man. If it means we have to rent, you know, disposable tents and sleep in the yard, you know, I was down because I really needed that week. I was desperate for that week.
Yeah.
So there was a possibility of, but I'm like, Samuel, please, whatever we have to do, man. And thankful to Amanda, I actually stayed here.
Yeah. And then you separated from Ellen.
Yeah.
Ellen was cheering you on like crazy, rooting for you from from your parents' house. So what happened then in the week? Because I mean, honestly, it was people were watching at the time saying, "Is this real? Is this legit? Like, how's this happening? How are you doing it so fast?"
Yeah.
So what did we do? What was the first thing? So you arrive here. What happens?
Yeah. So I mean, what we did was just too much of a big question. I think what we did not do, I think we did every single thing. But when we came, the good thing that I like, and it's something that obviously I heard many people who are successful say, we actually structured a plan. So we had a plan as to what we really wanted to get out of it. We did get things that we didn't plan, but most of the things that we planned, not most, every single thing that we planned, we got it. We sat down at the table. You obviously said, what do you want? So I think the best thing is, and that's the way that I live my life right now, is that, that first day, we actually paint a picture of what the end going to look like. And we forced it to happen. We had many hurdles, many trials, many tribulations, but with me and you, just like, whatever, let's get it done.
Yeah.
We forced it to happen in the end.
I remember you telling me as well when we were on the first night. In fact, while we were driving to my house, you were saying, the whole reason I'm doing this is for Ellen.
Yeah.
I want Ellen to be able to quit her job.
Yeah.
Ellen's always supported me, and I'm doing this for Ellen.
Yeah.
And Ellen did quit her job.
Yeah.
And it's fabulous. You guys are now working together. But why did you have such a strong reason to do this for Ellen? Like, what was the?
Do you know what it is? I mean, and that's something I've never told anybody before. But at the beginning of lockdown last year, I was in a very, very bad place. I was going through depression. I was even contemplating, suicide. I just feel like everything I was trying wasn't working. Every opportunity, I just put everything, but it still wasn't working. I was just like, what else can I do? I've got a son. I'm always saying I'll be successful. I'll be doing this. I'll be doing that. But after like trying, it doesn't work. I feel like maybe I'm not going to be successful. So I was going down that route and I was very, very down. And, luckily for Ellen, she was the one who pulled me out of it. She was the one who was just like, look, man, get up, start with your weights. Because I was really overweight. She's just like, look, let's get every single morning. We went on a keto diet. You were already small. You didn't need to lose weight. But we went on a diet together. Every single day we worked out. And within like 2 months, I lost like about 22 kilos. So after that happened, I was just like, if I can lose that weight in 2 months, what can I not do? And so I felt like Ellen was the one responsible from taking me from being on the edge when I'm about to jump off to like bringing me here. So I'm thinking like now I'm winning. I'm going to let you know, look, I got you. And, you're going to be part of my success. So I just felt like I just needed to show her, look, it's not about talk. It's now in action.
That's great. How did you guys get together, Ellen? What's your backstory?
So you came for an interview. I was working at Land Rover at the time. So we met at Land Rover. You came for your interview, and I was the one that greeted you and took you for your interview. And then I guess the rest is history. There, you asked me out from work, and I paid hard to get a little bit, and then
So you met working at Land Rover, and apparently, according to one of my members of staff, they said that there's a rumor that because you guys used to work at Land Rover, was it a few years ago?
Yeah.
And because I bought a Land Rover a few years ago, we actually knew each other a long time ago.
Yeah.
There's lots of conspiracies.
There's
lots of conspiracies. But just to kind of set the record straight, did we know each other prior to
not at all.
The eviction?
Not at all. I mean, I wish we did. I mean, I would.
The first day I ever met you was on the eviction.
Yes, definitely. So definitely, we wouldn't. I mean, if I knew you 3 years ago, I would not be at the point where I want to commit suicide, because I would know that if this guy is successful and he's training people how to do it, I would just follow him. So I definitely didn't know. In fact, I didn't even know of your name. I only knew of your name, just a few months ago during lockdown watching videos. So literally, I did not know you. I wish I did, but I am very grateful now that I do know you.
Yeah. So first day, we put a plan together. Following morning, we literally just walk into some agents.
Yeah.
And we walk out with some, in principle, rent-to-rents.
Yeah.
Like, so different from my experience with Lawton in Manchester. I'm sure he'll come on when there's at some point.
Yeah.
But like, how did we manage to get so? I mean, how many we must have got like 6 rent-to-rents that week.
We had so many rent-to-rents. We had an agent, which up to now I haven't even contacted him. I've been so busy. He sent me a list of over 20 rent-to-rents. He's like, just choose which ones you want. I'm up to now. I felt bad, but I've just been so busy doing stuff. So, I mean, how did we do it? I think, again, we had a plan, number one. Number two, I I mean, I definitely just copied and paste pretty much what you taught in the training. You know, the scripts, exactly what to say. And I'm just someone who's just consistent and persistent. So I just like don't give up. You might shut 10 doors in my face, but I'll keep going until I get one.
We ended up getting so many rent-to-rents within the first 48 hours of the Financial Freedom Challenge that I'm thinking we're not going to be able to fund all these rent-to-rents.
Yeah.
If we take on too many, if we take on 10 rent-to-rents, how are we going to put the deposits down for them?
Yeah.
Because each rent-to-rent might be a couple few £1,000s. So I'm like, dude, we need to stop at like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And you're like, but I got all these people. And it wasn't just one agent. We had 4, 5, 6 agents. We had direct to vendors. We had people from Gumtree that were like, and it's like, this is just crazy in London.
Absolutely.
What do you think it is about London that's so open to rent-to-rents?
Yeah, I think rent-to-rent is very popular in London. A lot of people are, are attempting to do rent-to-rent. So I think what made us stood out is that a lot of these agents have heard about rent-to-rents before, but they've heard about it from amateurs who don't know what to say and how to say it. But the mere fact that we were saying it in a different way and we had a backboard, we're not begging like, please give it to me. We're just like, I'm doing you a favor. What you saying? You on it or not? So I think our approach was obviously different to obviously what they used to, and I think that's what really made us stand out. In London. So
once we got the rent-to-rents, which was fantastic, we started deal selling. We did go through a little bit of troubles. We had that incident with the lady that wouldn't let you in the house because of your skin color, which was just absolutely. Would we be able to show our friend this apartment? He scares you. Why does he scare you?
His attitude. The way he talking.
He's very professional.
My tenant is English.
Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah.
Very, very good English gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. I only trust English.
You only trust English people, but you're not English yourself.
Yeah, I only trust my partner is English. I only trust English people.
My wife is African.
I no trust.
But if you don't trust anyone who isn't English, the business owner is Evans, and Evans is from the Caribbean. So if that's going to mean that you can't do business with him, then we can't do business. The thing I couldn't believe was when some people in the comments. I try not to read the comments sometimes because people just freak me out with their opinions. People are like, "Oh, that's not racist. She can do business whoever she wants to do business." True. And I'm thinking, how is saying you're not allowed in the house, but you are? Yeah. Because you're black and you're white. Literally. How is that not racist? Like, at the time it was, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. We did laugh on the day about it, but I think we laughed about it just because it was like... We couldn't believe it. It was it was kind of shock. Yeah. I mean, is that normal? Is that something you've had before? Was that a freaky incident? What? Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the reason why I laughed at it at the time is because it's happened to me so many times. It still happens to me now. And I think now I used to just like downplay it, but now I don't. Now I kind of like expose you and tell you, look, what you're doing is not right. Because I think if you tell someone, eventually they're going to be like, maybe this guy, maybe he's right. So it's not the first time. It happens all the time. But I think the good thing that we documented it is like no black guy or black girl has got an excuse anymore, because you've seen I've gone through the same thing you go through, but I'm on the other end now. Yeah, And I think it's a really important message, because racism, of course, it exists. Yeah. Same as lots of things exist. There's lots of problems. Same as not being able to get a mortgage because you're too young exists. Yeah. It's a real thing. It's a real problem. Yeah. But I think at the same time, while we need to speak against it and we need to stand up against it, it's really important to not be a victim to it and say, oh, because there's some racist people, I can't succeed. Yeah. What we did was we said, actually, you know what? In spite of it, we're going to keep going. Yeah. And we smashed it out the park. We did. I mean, what would you say to somebody maybe who's watching this, who might have experienced racism or feel, that they might be discriminated against? Yeah. I don't know if you've got, because it's hard for me. I'm a white dude, right? Yeah. I'm married to a black woman. Yeah. I got mixed race kids. Yeah. So I get it. But just, as a black person, speaking to maybe other black people, and of course everyone's an individual. I don't know if you've got anything you want to say on that, because I mean, what I would say about that is, like, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. The numbers, if the numbers stack up against, cultured people,
I mean, 70% of the UK, I believe, is white. So as much as I would love to sit here and say, look, there's no racism and we live in the 21st century, it's all going to be okay. Unfortunately, it's going to happen. But every individual has got an option as to what you're going to do. In life, you can choose to be a victim all of your life and be like, oh, I'm black, whatever. Or you can say, you know what it is? Yes, despite of that, I'll be a victor. So you can choose to be a victim and always complain that it's happening to me, or use that thing to motivate you, to propel you to be a victor. So I just think yes, there are going to be obstacles, and I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be a smooth ride to become successful. I go for challenges every day, but you have to do it despite that. I think you have to do it to be a victor and to show people that it is possible despite. That's what I think.
Have you got anything to say on that, Ellen?
Yeah, I feel like you were more affected by that than you kind of led on. Like, you used to always just brush past it, because you know that in life you always get more of what you focus on. So you used to always just dismiss it and be like, I don't want to focus on it. I know I'm going to be successful, or But I think that did kind of affect you more, and we even had another incident recently.
Yeah.
So I kind of.
What happened?
It was just something in our apartment.
Yeah.
It was someone in a lift was just being saying why do people like you live in the lift? And, it was just really awful, but yeah, so I think it's maybe it's kind of good now you're kind of more aware of it and can more speak it, and you confronted him with it, and I feel like you maybe before would have just said, oh, whatever, because you always just want to be positive, you never want to have an issue, and you always think about the opportunity in meeting people. I think you always want to see the good in people, so but yeah, maybe.
And it's crazy that it happens. I mean, I can't even comprehend it. And I think it's interesting what you say about ignoring it. I get the mentality of saying if racism happens or whatever, just ignore it, because what you focus on expands. But sometimes, we do need to, whether it be someone who's being racist, or whether it's someone who's being a hater, or sometimes there is a time to be like, hey, actually no, that's wrong.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky one, but mad respect for just rising above it on that day. Because I remember when it happened, I remember thinking, geez, this could knock Evans back for 2 days.
Yeah.
And some people it would have. Some people would have just felt like, man, I need to just take a couple days just to really just calm down over that, because it was so extreme. But the fact that we spoke about it, we addressed it, I called the woman out on it and said, look, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to be able to do business with you then, so goodbye.
Yeah.
We moved on, and then we rose above it. I mean, mad respect for that.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't an easy couple of days.
It definitely wasn't. But I really appreciate the way that you addressed it, man. The way that you addressed it, because a lot of people will be like, that's her choice and just move on. But you definitely kind of called her out, which really gave me confidence, because before I just used to brush it off and never used to address it. But now I actually do address it. If someone is, being racist, I'll tell them it's not right. What you do is not right. So I think definitely what you did really helped me.
Well, I was actually shocked, because very rare. I mean, I was just shocked, but I couldn't not say anything when it was just so blatant. It's like, are you for real? What? Yeah. So we got a couple of intervents. We then went to Liverpool to try and package and sell some deals, which just went ridiculously well.
Yeah.
What was the secret to just finding deals, selling deals? Why can't most people do what we did?
Yeah, I think the secret is, it's actually not a secret. I mean, you advertise it all the time. The secret for me was just the training. I think the training that I had, on packaging and selling deals, just was very, very simple.
And when you say training, just for the record, so throughout the month prior to the Financial Freedom Challenge, you went through a rigorous training process throughout the eviction. You were forced to do all of my training courses.
Yeah.
And then I came out and spent a week with you live on the Financial Freedom Challenge, and of course was training you throughout the week and working with you on it. And of course, training is imperative. It's like if you want to drive a car, you need to take some lessons.
100%.
Absolutely. But what were the big key takeaways then? What's the secret? What's the secret to packaging and selling a deal?
Packaging and selling a deal, I don't think it's a secret. I mean, number one, you need to get deals and get investors. But I know people who's doesn't go investors, but they can't. They haven't got that extra oomph, that extra thing to push it over the line. For me, I was born in the Caribbean. I was born in from the bottom, so I think I'm used to hustling and kind of selling my way through to even eat. So I think I'm naturally a salesperson. However, when it came to selling a deal for £3,000, it was the opposite. I didn't have to sell. I was just like that was too easy for me, because I'm just used to being in your face selling. But the mere fact that things that I learned from your training about the questions to ask and
Yeah.
qualify them and get them to sell themselves to you.
Yeah.
That was a no-brainer for me.
Because I had to tell you many times, I was like, stop selling.
Yeah.
Stop selling. You're being too pushy. And you're like, oh, wow. Because people probably think I'd say the opposite.
Yeah.
But then I said, all you need to do is ask these questions and
Yeah.
make them sell themselves.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I mean, that week I think I learned more from you indirectly than directly. Like the way that you just word things and the questions that you ask, the tonality. A lot of those things came through the training. Questions such as, what's your current situation? So when they ask all the questions, I think for me that was a big thing. When they're asking all the questions, what is this? What's the price? Blah, blah, blah. Cool, that's fine. Very, very good question. Before I address these questions, do you mind if I ask you a few questions just to make sure that you meet the requirements, because you need to go through, a mortgage, what's your current situation? So all of a sudden they're going to be like, well, I've got a mortgage, I've got X amount of money in the bank, I can afford this deal. So it was a complete, it was a complete paradigm shift from what I thought deal selling was to actually what deal selling was. And I mean, it's going amazing, so the training definitely works. I mean, kudos to you for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you seen a change in Evans since the whole process?
100%, and he teaches me like what you've taught him, and I've obviously watched done the rent to rent training, because that's what I'm focusing on. So, and I apply the same concept of asking questions. Like if I'm closing a tenant, for example.
Yeah, I love that, closing a tenant. But
That's what you say.
but everything you have to know how to close the business.
100%.
Whether it be and people think, oh, salesy, but it's like, no, you want to run a property business. Believe me, you better be able to close a deal, whether it be a tenant, an investor, an agent. You sell it all of the time. You're closing all of the time.
And that's what I love about your training. Like I'll literally pause it, like where you say, and that I apply everything you say to when I've got my, I've got my viewings and asking those questions. And again, we even use the same thing to qualify a tenant before. We used to go and run around do every viewing, and now we qualify someone to make sure they're serious. Are they in a position to make a decision before I go and show them the property? So.
Evans, the agents that we spoke to.
Yeah.
Did you used to work for one of the agents that we got a deal from?
Yeah, actually.
Talk to me about that, because that's also something that's been coming up on social media. I obviously on the week, I don't know exactly what's what. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I used to work for one of the companies called Aptus. But I mean, the good thing I like about the week that we had was never about who we can use, what we cannot use. We were obviously just trying to get financially free and stuff like that. Now that agent, at the back of your videos, I actually applied for many jobs. No one took me. I got one interview. That was that company, and they offered me minimum wage. The crazy thing is they didn't even offer me. I didn't even have a contract, so I actually worked with them and just getting paid. And after 3 months, it wasn't working. I just couldn't be an employee. I'm not wired to do it.
Did they fire you, or did you quit?
So they actually fired me.
Did that hurt?
It did hurt, but before they fired me, I was arguing with Ellen, should I quit? She's like, don't quit, let them fire you, because that way they're going to feel guilty and they're going to help you out in the future.
I just think never burn bridges. That was it was a difficult time.
Well, then you quit your job.
Yeah,
You burned that bridge.
I was very nice on the phone.
That's good.
He did say if I ever want a job, I could come back.
Oh, anyway, go on. So you worked with the agent for 3 months. You then got fired.
Yeah.
But it really hurt, but you didn't love the job anyway.
Exactly.
And then while we were out doing rent to rents, to be fair, we spoke to a lot of agents. We got deals from a lot of agents.
Yeah.
But one of the agents that we got a deal from was this agent. But what were you about to say? You were about to say after you got fired, you started watching my videos and you called them.
Yeah. So I mean, while I was working there, because I was watching your videos is what got me that job anyway.
Right.
But while I was working there, I was trying to pitch them rent to rent, and they understand it, but they didn't want to work with me because they think it's a conflict of interest. If this guy start making money, he won't sell my houses or whatever the case may be. So they gave me no rent to rent. I left the job. I called them. They didn't take me serious. But then with the challenge, so now again it backs to sales. I'm like, look. I know you said no in the future, but look, I've got this amazing guy.
You didn't want to call the agent
No,
at
I
the
didn't.
time because you'd been to them prior.
Yes.
And we were in your area.
Yeah.
And I was like, we need to go to every agent.
Yeah.
And you were like, ooh, this is a bit awkward. But we got a deal.
We did.
And the thing is as well, that I think is really important, because I know again, people saying, people love to try and discredit. People say, oh, the joint venture that you did though was with Ellen's dad.
Yeah.
You know, oh, if only I had a father-in-law that had lots of, but it's like, people missing the point.
100%.
It's like, we took you from where you were.
Yep.
Which was £23 in the bank.
Yep.
One rent to rent.
Yeah.
That you'd got a few months prior, which was doing okay.
Yeah.
No money, sleeping in a single bed with your girlfriend, living in your girlfriend's parents' house.
Yeah.
That's where you were. And we took you to living in a beautiful penthouse apartment thing in central London.
Yeah.
Making multiple thousands of pounds a month with your rent to rents. Made £10,000 in the week from packaging and selling deals. That's where we took you. We didn't start from nothing. We started with £23. We started with the few connections you had. We started from the little experience you had, and we took you from where. But that's what I do with all of my training. I'll always say to people, you know, the sat nav analogy. I'll say, where are you right now?
Yeah.
Where do you want to go? And how are we going to get there? And we're going to be resourceful. And we're going to use all of your connections. Geez, if you've got a father-in-law who's got 100 grand in the bank, believe me, I'm going to try and get that.
Of course.
Get that as a joint venture. And again, you were unsure about that. You're like, I don't know if he's going to want to do a deal with me.
Yeah.
But because you became investable, because you got the knowledge, you got the skills. If you'd have gone to, like when you went to that agent a month prior and they were like, no.
No.
If you'd have gone to your father-in-law a month prior, he'd have been like, no.
I'm surprised that he even said yes. I mean, you tried speaking to him before. I feel like we'd kind of been like drip feeding him like entrepreneurship and you know, like you bought him Think and Grow Rich, I think, for his birthday.
Think and Grow Rich by investing with me. Yeah.
So I felt like the credibility just wasn't there. Fair enough. Like, you know, you're living in his house. It just, the dynamic wasn't like, and obviously that was like, you know, that was inheritance. Like he lost his parents and like he never, I feel like he found it too hard to even to spend the money. Like he hadn't touched it because he just was obviously like grieving. So I feel like, but when it became a way to like help you and he had the credibility from you and from seeing you and he was listening to all the training because you were listening to him around the house. Yeah. So he was like actually listening to your training as well, like because you had it so loud. Like,
Why do you think people do that? Why do you think people try and discredit what you've done? Yeah. Like, what do you think? What's going on in some people's minds, man? It kind of freaks me out.
Yeah. I mean, what it is that a lot of people, man, you know, everybody's going on their own agenda. Everybody loves themselves more than anything or anybody else in the world. And some people haven't, unfortunately, they miss on hash, but they haven't got that fire in the belly to go out there and put themselves out there and take a risk and take a L. And because they don't do that and somebody else do that, to make them feel good, they'll feel like, well, you're up there, the only way I can obviously be good is by bringing you down there because I'm not going to do whatever it takes to get up there. So if I discredit you, make whatever you obviously did look nothing, it'll make me feel better. Because ultimately they haven't got what it takes to go out there. Look, man, I want to help you. Help people every single day. If I'm doing this, why do you want to bring me down? Why don't you just find out what I did and try and be up there? And that's what I think it is. I think people just like they haven't got. They don't believe in themselves, and when somebody else is obviously winning, they try and discredit them. That's what I think it is.
I totally agree, and I think as well, you've got to take the cards that you've been dealt in life, and then you've got to deal your cards. We've all got different cards. You know, some your cards were £23, living in a single bed in your parents' house, blah blah blah. We were like, right, well, how can we find what you have got going for you though? Okay, you've got one rent to rent already. Cool, so you got a little bit of experience in that. Let's start with that strategy because you know it. Right, who do you know? Who do you know who's got money? Like that's part of the process. If I was speaking to somebody else and they were like, oh well actually, you know, I've got credit and I can get a loan out, we'd have got a loan out. You couldn't necessarily do it. If we'd have been speaking to someone, we're just gonna use their cards, we're gonna deal them, and we're going to become financially free. And regardless of where you're starting at, the goal is financial freedom. Believe me, if I'm working with you, I'm going to get you there.
Of course.
It might not take 7 days. 7 days is crazy. For you, it was 7 days. It might take 7 months. But it's gonna happen. It's
gonna happen.
You know, but I mean, listen, I don't want to focus too much on the conspiracies around, you know, did you sell me a Land Rover? It's complete nonsense. In fact, I didn't even know who you were prior to the eviction.
Not at all.
Like, not only had I never met you, I didn't even like know you from Adam. I saw you for the first time a few months back on the eviction. I'm like, hey, what's your name? So fast forward a few months, you know, we're here.
Yeah.
But I know you've had a lot of support as well.
Yeah.
I know you've built up a lot of connections. I know you've gone on to sell a lot more deals.
Yeah.
Before we get on to that though, the rent-to-rents that you did get,
Yeah.
we got the keys for them.
Yeah.
Do you still have them?
Yep, still got them, still doing well. One is fully tenanted. The other one, he's got 2 rooms vacant. Ellen did a few viewings. Did that many viewings today too?
Yeah, so we've got a lady who's going to take it
Yeah.
today.
So she hasn't got money in the bank, but it's pretty much verbally done.
So all the deals that we secured on the week you still got?
Yep. I still got them. The only one I haven't got is, well, I got all the rent-to-rents. The only one was obviously the JV partner, which obviously we got a replacement, but all the rent-to-rents.
Talk to me about the JV partner. So your father-in-law
Yeah.
said that he was prepared to put £100,000 into a joint venture agreement.
Yeah.
We did find a house in the week.
Yeah.
But someone gazumped you, right?
Yeah.
And your dad was like, let's go up higher.
Yeah.
And we spoke. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
find another deal.
Yeah.
So you still got the joint venture partnership there in place ready.
Yeah.
And now you're working on finding the best deal that you can find.
Absolutely.
That's great.
I mean, he gave us 100 grand on the challenge, but the mere fact that what's happened with that deal was because he was through a company, he was a repossessed property, we got outbid, and he's just like, yeah, keep bidding. But I was just like, if I keep bidding, the deal all of a sudden does not look as attractive as before. So I told him, he wanted to do it. He was like, move. He's like, let's do it. And I was just like, this is not the right deal. So just leave that one on the side. I'll find you another deal. I think he actually respect me a lot more for doing that.
Because you could have just quickly got his money and got that deal.
Exactly.
But instead you were like, actually, no, let's get a better deal because we've been outbid.
Yeah.
In fact, you were talking to me off camera about how you think that there's more investors out there looking for deals than there even are deals right now. I don't know. What do you think about that, Ellen?
Yeah, for real. I feel like that's been our experience. We know a lot of people. We're always networking.
Every time you get a deal, you just sell it.
Yeah.
And you need more deals.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of competition with deals. There's a lot of people out there looking for deals, so we're just focusing.
That's the opposite though of what a lot of people are saying. A lot of people are saying, I've got deals, but I can't sell them. There's no investors.
Yeah.
You guys don't feeling that?
I don't feel like. Do you know what is crazy? That most of my investors I've got now, a lot of them came from people like I actually knew, but I never knew they had money. If that makes any sense. So a lot of them came on my contact list of people I meet now. But the video I've done with you gives them the credibility that I know what I'm doing. So that obviously helps as well. I'm not saying it doesn't help. However, a lot of investors come from people that you just talk to and you just tell them what you do. And it's crazy. I mean, my neighbor Winston, he's obviously one of my.
He's not the one that told you in the elevator that you shouldn't live there.
No.
A different neighbour.
When we had my parents. Yeah.
Okay.
So
You wouldn't set him a deal. He didn't deserve a deal.
not at all. Not at all. He could have paid me £1 million sourcing fee, but he definitely wouldn't get it. But
You see, you got people coming to you all the time. Also, Ellen, you quit your job, and that happened in the documentary.
Well, today actually, I quit my job. Oh my god! Congratulations.
Did you know you were going to end up quitting your job, or was that like a genuine wow out the blue?
No way, and I was saying at least I'll do another month, and it was you that were pushing me.
yeah.
No, because we did the challenge together the week. Then you surprised Ellen.
Yeah.
And again, was that genuine surprise?
I had no clue. And even then I was processing. When you're saying it was hours, I was like, how do you mean hours? Do you mean it's as a business thing? Are we going to essay? Are we, I
know you were there when you go, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Because I was scared to get excited and then misunderstand.
You cried more watching it back.
Oh
Because
my God.
we watched the documentary for the first time live in this room at my
Yes,
house on TV, right?
we did.
So we're watching it back, and in the documentary, Ellen's kind of cool, calm and collected. What do you mean as? That's great. Oh man, I love you so much. But then watching it, she's like hankies and absolutely bawling her eyes out because why was it so emotional for you?
And I feel just the way you were just so grateful to me. I never thought I just wanted to support you. I know you were down. I just loved you so much, and I just wanted to make you happy. So I didn't feel like you owed me anything. But just hearing you plan everything, the fact that you put so much thought into it, and it was because that's what I said for Christmas. I know you're gonna be anything. Let's just try and figure out moving out. So I just felt like it was so thoughtful, and it was so emotional. And
you've always wanted to live with city views.
Yeah.
Although more recently, you're now tempted to get a second place up north because your kid seems to be up north all the time. Viewing houses.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking look, I'm always there. I might as well get a base there. Because I love my apartment. It's my dream apartment, but not because I'm now somewhere doing well. It means I need to relax. I'm in a place where I can put my feet down and change, a generation. So that's the plan. The plan is to obviously be up north, find a base somewhere for about Monday to Friday, and I come down on weekends.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So you're going from your girlfriend's parents' little single room, sharing a single bed,
Yeah.
to a beautiful apartment overseeing it in London, and now you're thinking, we need to be now up north as well.
We've got to leave the apartment now. I was like, okay.
What you really need to do is you need to get a helicopter.
Yeah.
So you can just go back and forth.
100%.
But how's business going?
Oh, business is going well. Man, business is going well, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of downs, there's a lot of ups and downs, but, just through the things I've done before in my life, it's kind of prepared me to handle what's happening right now in business, thinking for myself.
And the training, your training has so much mindset training as well. So we know when there's these obstacles, they are just at the obstacles. We're not going to give up.
What's been the biggest obstacles since the challenge? Because the challenge was very much, I know we had a few issues and stuff, but it was just very much like bang, 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 like ultimate high.
Yeah.
It was smooth.
Yeah.
Then I left, stayed in touch a bit. But
Yeah.
what's been the biggest challenges after the week? Stuff that people haven't seen on camera.
Yeah. The biggest challenges was one of them was to get the properties tenanted because we're in a national lockdown. So that was a bit difficult. We pretty much there now. The other challenges was a couple of deals actually fell through.
Which deals fell through?
So
the ones that you sold?
yeah.
Okay.
But the thing about it is it didn't fall through because of anything wrong with the deal. And the crazy thing is both of them was after the 14 days. One just changed his mind. He doesn't want to do property again because he can't convince his wife. And the other one just wanted the money back to invest in another big deal. So there's nothing on my end. There's nothing wrong with the deal. They got a change of mind.
What did you do? Did you resell the deal or did you lose the deal? What did you do?
Yeah, so obviously I lost the deal. Obviously I lost that deal. I didn't lose the investors. One of them I have refunded. The other one, I told him I am going to refund him. And bear in mind, I don't really need to because it's gone past the call
Yeah,
period.
and in the terms and conditions it says after 14 days, if they pull out for no good reason, they're not entitled to a refund. So you did it anyway just because you wanted to uphold your reputation.
Absolutely.
Which I think was a good thing to do.
Yeah.
You're building your brand and you're building your business.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had deals fall through, which is painful. You had a tough time getting some of the tenants, which is also, is tough.
Yeah.
I know it was like a week after you got a load of tenants moved in real quick though. Did they stay? What happened with those tenants?
Yeah, no, the tenant did stay. It's just like we had some what actually paid to move in. They paid their deposit and everything in place, and obviously last minute they just changed their mind. So that was a punch in the stomach. But I'm used to being punched in my stomach. My stomach is made of steel because of all the punches I've got. So I just obviously keep going through. But that was the downs.
What was that like, Ellen, with the tenant side of things? Like in terms of how easy was it to find the tenants? Was it that people kept looking but it wasn't right for them, or what happened your end? Because I know that's very much your bag.
Because we initially had someone who wanted the whole place for all his workforce, so it was gonna be one person essentially took it all straight away, and then he changed his mind. Partly it's like people not wanting to come for viewings with Corona, and then when you have current tenants wanting to be careful about their safety in terms of doing additional viewings, so that's like one factor to consider. And we just found that maybe the demand wasn't as high, or people, I don't know, we just found it a little bit more difficult than we did with our previous one. But I think it doesn't mean it's not going to work. You just might need to put in 10 times more work. You might send out many more messages on spare room or whatever it is.
Yeah. What about the other rent to rent? How did that one rent out easier, harder? Was it the same sort of story?
Yeah. So no, it was again gain the tenants. But one rent to rent is already fully filled. The other one has got 2 rooms empty. We had 2 viewings today, which all went well. So fingers crossed. By the end of this interview, we should be fully tenanted. However, we obviously had to put in the work. But the good thing about it is when I initially got the rent to rent, one I got a month free. So it didn't pay me financially at all. I didn't pay for the rent off my pocket. The other one I got 3 weeks off it. So it didn't pay me financially at all. It just paid me in the sense that I had so many investors who wanted to buy deals with me, but I was more focused about getting the tenants and getting the property filled. So I think it probably cost me a few grand because I didn't really. However, it's a learning curve. I've learned a lot from it, and obviously moving forward now, we're just
You still got them. They're making money. One of them stuck. The room's stuck a bit longer than you thought.
Yeah.
You know, and that does sometimes happen.
Yeah.
That is sometimes the nature of property.
Yeah.
How about the deal selling? How have the deal selling side of the business been?
I mean, deal selling, man. Wow, man. I mean, if I knew you can just make that much money in deal selling, man, I was just like, why would I ever, ever do
like you were made
anything?
for this.
When I came in 2013, I'll go straight into deal selling if I knew that's what it was. But yeah, it's changed. It changed my life, man. I mean, yesterday I was just viewing the property, and just for deal selling, I actually secured a lease option agreement. It's getting very, very good. Make good money, good connections. Have loads of people wanting to co-deal source with me. I'm fully compliant. So, man, I'm happy, man. Yeah.
In terms of numbers and stuff, how much money are you making on the deal selling side of things, or how much money have you made in total since you started the challenge?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm even lost in kind. I'm in 10, 16, and 9. That is 34. I made $3 yesterday. So I made about £37,000 since since the challenge and stuff like that.
And that's the two of you working full time.
Yeah.
You know, it's not passive.
Yeah.
Very, very active.
Very active.
Yeah, a lot of work, but 37 grand
Yeah.
over the space of what, 3 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's not
dream
bad.
is what we want to do. So
Yeah, it's not bad, and bear in mind we've never done that before. We just pretty much just follow your training, and obviously now. But now we obviously have experience because we've obviously made a few errors.
Do you think you'll carry on making that kind of money, or do you think that you went crazy to begin with, and now you have more of a trickle, or what's the kind of projections?
I don't think I'll carry on making that kind of money. I think I'll make a lot more money, man.
Oh, you think you made more than that?
100%. Like my goals.
Because the way you kind of told me that 30, you're like added it up in your head, and you're like, so it's been 37. Like you didn't sound that excited by making 37 grand in 3 months, considering that when we met you had £23 in your bank. It's just definitely you've had a mindset shift.
Yeah.
You've been hanging around me and the folks too long.
Yeah.
You've been hanging around Alistair just doing 37 a month.
Yeah.
But you've changed your thermostat.
100%, 100%. I can recall I was actually sitting right where you are, and you were standing, you were sitting on the floor, and you were saying the reason why you're doing these videos, the reason why you're doing the eviction is to really help people change their thermostat. And you give the example of Amanda set it to 24, and that really hit home. That really,
Talk to me
really
about
home. Yeah, 'cause, I mean, you actually said that. Look, every individual's got a thermostat. Like for example, Amanda's thermostat in the house is 24 degrees. If you open up the window, it might drop down. But it doesn't really matter because it's always set to 24. It's always going to go back to 24. And most human beings are set to a particular number that they feel they can make every single month. And even if they make $5 this month, they'll go back to what they normally make. So your goal is to change their thermostat, to get them to think bigger. And from then, like my thermostat right now was $3 then. Now, it's 15, 25 pounds every single month. It's changed a lot. And being around you and being around the mentors is even growing a lot bigger.
Yeah.
So that definitely was a huge, quote that day. Conversation.
That's incredible that you've managed to change your money blueprint.
Yeah.
And that's what you quit your job, man. How much were you making at your previous job at Ellen?
So I mean, it was a basic. There's like a low salary of like 14 grand or something basic,
Yeah.
and then the commission on there. But it was the same thing where deals would fall through. So in theory, I was making in a year. And remember, you said it. You said Evans could make in a day what you're making in a year. So I'm like, oh.
You're like, thanks for that. Thanks for that.
No, but it's good. You made us realise like you helped us change our thermostat. So
Yeah, because we sold like a couple deals and I was like, man, we could literally make Ellen's annual salary in a day.
Yeah.
And Ellen was like, thank you.
But it's good. You need to hear those things.
But then
realise.
you just couldn't continue working your job after that.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, the hours were like grueling anyway, and then like I was needing to like take on more responsibility with the rent to rent so that you could actually have time for the deal selling. So it just made sense really.
So what happens now? What's the plan?
So the plan is to continue making money, but I mean I really want to focus on my mission of helping people. Working with people, inspiring people, and really letting people know it doesn't really matter where you are, man. You can do it, man. Now I think I'm making a lot of money. I think it's going to happen organically a lot more. I'm stumbling on deals just for deal selling. So that's going to happen organically. I mean, I've got my goals for figures and stuff like that, but now I'm more focusing on my on actual things that actually mean a lot to me. Like my mom's house, I go finish it. My goal is in the next 2 months go down to St. Lucia and finish it. That cost me £15,000. I want to build a mosque in St. Lucia. I want to be on stage to help people. So I think the money is coming. I mean, before I was only interested about money, but now the money is just coming organically. So now I'm focusing on the things that.
Well, it's crazy how quick things have happened because you were a couple of months ago, really keen, or just before the challenge, you're like, oh my gosh, asking me and Alistair and Russell all your questions and Anthony, and your knowledge was okay. You'd done a little bit and you'd read some books and CDs, but then woof, and we changed your thermostat and now I get people messaging me like, they don't want to speak to me anymore. They want to speak to you. They're like, "Hey, can I speak to Evans about how he sold so many deals? Can I speak to Evans about this?" I'm like, "Holy moly! I've even got you on. I've even got you now on Samuel 365. I'm like, hey, if anyone wants to speak to Evans, I've now officially got you down as one of the people that answer questions and help people, which you've literally just started doing." Like today.
Yeah, literally today.
So today, you spoke to one of our Samuel 365 members. They were asking you about, what were they asking you?
About deal selling, about the legalities, about deal selling and stuff like that.
And people might, what would you say to someone that says, how dare Evans advise people and tell people about deal selling and answer their questions? He's only been doing it 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I would say there's a point to that where I would agree.
Yeah.
You shouldn't really be trying to teach people when you haven't got experience.
Yeah.
You've been in the game 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So we've got you on the panel on Samuel 365, and the reason I put you on the panel was because everyone was saying to me, "I want to speak to Evans." Started off when we were running our Wednesday evening Q&A coaching session, and I was like, "Let me bring Evans on." You can't. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh," because I've watched the documentary, so everyone starts picking your brain, asking you questions. You got a lot of value.
Yeah.
And even though you're brand new, you had a lot of good stuff to say.
Yeah.
Fresh, good stuff to say. So we put you on the panel. But what would you say to someone that was like, how dare you try and tell others how when you've been in the game 5 minutes and sit on this panel of Samuel 365? Like, well, how would you defend that?
I mean, everything in life is about perspective. It's all about how you look at something. And you can turn around, you can say, hey, Evans been in the game for 5 minutes. Maybe he doesn't know much. Or you can say, okay, let me hear what he's got to say and let's see if it's of value. But for me, the way I look at it is this. I mean, look, everything I'm saying is not something I've read in a book or watched in a video. Things that I've actually done and I'm actually doing. But I mean, there are times where I'm going to come across things that I don't know. But the amazing thing about being part of the panel is that I've got people with multi-millions accessible to me. I can always call you, always call Anthony, always call Alistair. That's part of being on the panel. That's part of being on the WhatsApp group. So, by speaking to me, if anything, for someone getting started, it might be a lot better for you. Why? Because I can speak your language. I can relate to you. I'm no different to you. So it's about perspective.
I think that's right, though. I think you're sitting with a group of mentors. Yeah. And yes, people can speak to you and ask you questions. But then if you don't know the answer, but it might be something you totally know the answer to. It might be something like, hey, look, I'm struggling to sell a deal to a new investor. I'm just getting started. And you're like, actually, I can relate to that. But you're doing it under the umbrella of Samuel Leeds training, with our principles, with our panel of mentors, in a safe environment. So I actually think it's quite exciting, and I know that you love doing it.
Yep. It's more than a goal, man. It's crazy that you know what is? I was telling somebody the other day, man. Samuel Leeds is not a mentor or a trainer. Samuel Leeds is probably a magician because you came to my house and you saw my vision board and you saw I want to be a speaker. You saw I want to move in the house. And you just you didn't do anything that I didn't want to do. You really helped me do the things that I always wanted to do. So man, I'm grateful. I mean, I say it all the time. I think preparation means opportunity. I've been hoping, praying, doing many different things that doesn't work. And finally I get somebody like Samuel and I got this training and it's just like, it's like magic. Yeah.
What are you thinking, Ellen?
100%, yeah. Luck, like you said, luck is like preparation meets opportunity, and that's like us meeting you. Like, it was such a best thing. Like, we discovered your videos in lockdown, and like we were really at sink or swim at that point. So
yeah, literally.
And it's funny because you write the dream board when I came around your house. In this little small room, single bed where you both sleep in. Your son comes, you have to sleep on the floor. Yeah. But then you've got a little dream board. Yeah. And I'm looking at the dream board and I'm seeing all the different things. And out of the 10, 12 things, like bar 1 or 2, which will be completely out of our hands. Yeah. Every one of them has pretty much happened.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much
Thanks
happened.
to you.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I think, I mean, I'm a strong believer in God. I believe in God. I'm not here to preach about God, but God is the reason why I'm here. But God is, having seen him, I think God came into you, used you to meet me and speak to me. I think, it's all God, and I am grateful. And I did say to God when I was praying, when everything was done, I'm like, look, God, if you help me now, when I make it, I'll tell everyone it was you. So now I'm telling everyone it was God. And God came in a sign of you. So man,
That's great. That's great. And I'll tell you something as well, though. Yes, I've helped you and given you a bit of a break, but everything that you've achieved is down to you guys' hard work, your commitment, your persistence. I mean, there's a lot of people, I could stay in their house for a week and then move out, and then they'd lose all the money, they'd mess everything up. And the reason I chose to do the Financial Freedom Challenge with you was because I believed in you as a person. I saw your work ethic, which was through the roof, and I'm just, really, really happy. And you guys are such a nice couple, man. Like, I know we've hung out a little bit socially and done things, but you guys are just such a great couple. Ellen, what would you say to someone watching this who's thinking, you know what, I'm like how you guys were a year ago, bad place, not got any money, got a big dream, but don't actually know how to get there. What advice would you give to somebody?
I mean, I would just say for us, like, we started with the YouTube videos, and then being able to, the training itself, like I said, it's got everything. It's got the mindset as well as all the tools and all the steps to actually, take action and really, I mean, I think when I think about what I spent on my university degree and what I got out of that compared to what I got from the training, it's just crazy. Like, it's a huge investment in yourself, and what you'll get back for it will just, will be tenfold.
What about you, Evans? What would you say to someone watching this?
Yeah.
And they're thinking, what are the first steps I can take?
Yeah. I mean, what I'll do is just tell them exactly what I did. I put all my faith in the Creator. He was obviously the one I prayed when everything was going wrong. And I think he spoke to me and he told me, look, Evans, I want to help you, but you have to help yourself. So I started doing the dream board. I started doing the affirmations. I started praying and hoping. But even those things was good, but it wasn't, like I still had to do my part, because it's all good and well to read the books and watch the videos and all the rest of it. But like, God wants to help you, but you have to help you. And I think by me putting myself out there, by me obviously getting trained, and by me obviously meeting you, and it just happened. So I think, like, yes, it's always good to write your stuff down, have visions, have goals, but at some point, like, you need to put yourself out there. Like, get trained. I can't emphasize on how important it is to get trained, because I think that's the biggest difference between me now and me 6 months ago. I'm no less passionate, I'm no less hungry, I got the same work ethic, but now I am motivated, but I'm not motivated in the wrong direction. I'm in the right direction. Why? Because I've got the training, I've got clear vision. So yeah, man, number one, have a plan as to what you want to do, but at some point you have to get trained, you have to get knowledge, get a mentor, and just get it done, man. If I can do it, someone like me, black guy, I've been in the country since 2013. That's about just over 7 years ago. I've still got an accent, hardly got any family in this country. If I can come here and I can obviously do the things I'm doing, why not you? I never been to university, didn't finish college. I mean, no excuses. Just follow exactly what you've done, and anybody can do it. That's what I would say to you. Just follow the proven system. Yeah,
and you have got a lot of passion and a lot of hunger, but you've always had that.
Yeah.
But that passion doesn't stop you getting eaten alive in the boardroom.
Not at all. Not at all.
What happened in the boardroom when you came with your business plan?
In the boardroom, I got ripped a new one. I got ripped apart.
This whole thing confused me. I have no idea what you even plan on doing.
That you're not going to get any money out of anyone.
But you know what, it was very, very good, man. It's very, very good in the sense that it just really made me just, Evans, yes, you're hungry, but there are things you need to get straightened up. So I think, JL was now a business partner.
I know, how crazy! So JL was there ripping you in the boardroom meeting.
Yeah.
But then she's now doing business with you.
Absolutely.
It was constructive, and it came from a place of, like, she genuinely wanted to see you win.
Yeah.
She was just,
That's the case with all of us, though, even Alistair.
Yeah, of course.
And if I'm being, I get criticised a lot for being too hardcore. Even at the crash course, people are like, man, you're really hardcore, or tell people straight. But I think the reason is because I don't want them to like me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be their friend.
Yeah.
I want people to succeed.
Yeah.
And a lot of people might not like it, and I'm sure you didn't love it in the boardroom.
100%.
But you can respect that.
No, I can't respect it. You know what I really like, Samuel, is this, like, I've had people around me who's, claim to be mentors and stuff like that, but
they were never hard on me. They would always tell you the things that you want to hear. Oh, you're a nice guy, Evans. You know, you're very passionate. Like, cool, I get it. But that's not for me to get to my next level. What's going to get me there? Someone who's brutally honest and tell me what I've got to improve on. That's the only way I can get better. So yes, in the boardroom, it was very bad. However, like
you were in tears. It was that bad.
Yeah.
He never cries.
Yeah.
I'd never seen you cry in all the years you've been together until it came.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, right after that boardroom, I bought the book of how to write a business plan.
And then when you came, you saw our house.
Yeah, I did
My
see
dad
it.
got that for you.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
So yeah, man, I definitely deserve that.
So you keep talking about the training.
Yeah.
People might be thinking, yeah, but Evans and Helen, we can't afford to do the training.
Yeah.
People seem to have this idea. People think that my training costs tens of thousands of pounds and it's really, really, really expensive.
Yeah.
And it's only for either rich people or people that just have to get into lots and lots of debt. And
Yeah.
I don't understand why people think that, because my training is actually really, really cheap.
Really cheap.
I mean,
Really
the crash course is £1.
Yeah.
And then I might sell you on doing some further training for £95 on Samuel 365.
you get-
All of our courses cost £995, which, okay, maybe it is expensive but to somebody. But
Yeah.
if you want to do rent-to-rent, you want to go through all the rent-to-rent training, it's actually not even £995. The rent-to-rent training is how much?
$495 or something.
£495.
Yeah.
I should probably do a YouTube video where I just say, these are all the prices of my courses, folks, and just give all the courses, because it's actually it's
Yeah.
really cheap.
Yeah.
But even
Yeah.
then, people will still say
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
But like, tell me about what Samuel 365 is, because now you're actually on the panel, you know, as an advisor and a mentor, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
But tell me about what is Samuel 365?
I think Samuel 365 is not I think it's definitely, because I've been for many trainings and stuff like that. Samuel 365 is the best mentoring training platform out there, and here's the reason why. It costs you less than £1,000. It costs you like £95, a month. Number one, and not only do you have Evans as a mentor, you have Samuel Leeds, the multi-millionaire, you have Alistair. So all together, amalgamated together, you have millions, guys worth millions mentoring you. You can use them 24/7, 15-minute calls, unlimited time. Most importantly, they get you for a week every single Wednesday. I mean, it's insane.
You've got the whole community of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because normally, like, let's say you pay a mentor, I don't know, £2,000.
Yeah.
And they'll say, I'll mentor you for 3 months.
Yeah.
And you're calling them back and forth and all that, and you paid £2,000, but then you might not be able to get hold of them, or they could be a bit busy. Or,
Exactly.
Whereas you just pay £95 a month.
Exactly.
You've got a whole panel of people.
Exactly.
You can call them anytime. One-on-one.
Yeah.
One-on-one.
Yeah.
Training, mentoring, weekly calls with me,
a
networking, lots and lots of training worth thousands of pounds on the platform for £95 a month. It's
Absolutely.
like, geez, no excuses.
No excuse.
And if you're not sure, we have a 7-day trial where you pay £1.
£1. And within that pound, you still can do calls. Within that pound, you can still,
Go on the crash course?
Go on the crash course and still speak to you, or still be on the Zoom call. And you know what I think about, and I'm sure that's the reason why you have all kind of success, is because the good thing about the 365 is that you have different characteristics in different parts of the world. So I'm a strong believer, you might be a very universal key, but there's no key that opens every single door. You might be a great speaker, but maybe you can't relate to me because you've never been, in the gutters and stuff like that. But you have me. There's different characters that can obviously adapt to different people. And that's the benefit of being on the call. Every shape, size, ethnicity.
Men, women, different races, different religions.
Come on,
all that, standing with people, helping people, and I guess as well, it's kind of like there's no better option. If you want to get a property mentor, there's no other option.
Exactly.
Where for £95 a month can you have access to millionaires?
Yep.
They can have one. It's just ridiculous.
It's insane.
It's just totally. It's a game changer.
No, it is.
And it's made it impossible for other training companies.
Yep.
If you want to set up a property training company, how can you compete?
Exactly.
How can you compete with £95 a month when you've got direct access to millionaires?
Yep.
It's just like it's crazy.
Crazy, 100%. It's going to change the game.
It's changing the game big time.
Yeah.
And as a result, more and more people. We've got more Winners Wednesdays now lined up than we've ever had before. And that's one thing that no other training company can do.
Not at all.
No one's doing Winners Wednesdays.
Not at all.
Only our company.
Not at all.
Because we're the best.
Not
And
at
you've
all.
been doing it for so long now, Winners on a Wednesday. So, like,
Over
Yeah.
2
that
years.
really, really inspired us.
Of course, man. I mean, you can say where, like, I met someone the other day saying about Samuel Leeds. I'm just like, cool. I get your opinion. That's fine, no problem at all. But maybe you've been a little bit emotional. Let's talk about facts. Like, you understand? Like, because when your emotion is high, your logic is low. All right. Let's talk about logic. Logically, whether you like the guy, his skin, the color, whatever you might think about him, let's talk about the numbers. Which trainer that you have documented has got all of these winners documented on YouTube? Like, you can't deny that the guy's training works. Like, whether you like him or not, I don't care about your opinion. Get your logic out the way. Like, get your emotion out the way. Let's talk about logic. Logically, like, numbers don't lie.
It's so true. It's so true. And I'm a documented millionaire. Like, there's a lot of people out there faking or trying to pretend. Like, I started documenting my journey before I was a millionaire.
Yeah.
Right, back in 2014. And I documented my way to becoming a millionaire. And then I documented my way to becoming a multi-millionaire. I'm documenting everything, doing videos every single
Exactly.
day. And it's like, no one's ever done that before.
Exactly.
So I love doing it. I love seeing people win.
Yeah.
The satisfaction, you know, I came and lived with you for a week. You didn't pay me for it.
Not at all.
I did it for the pure satisfaction. And it was a fabulous week, one that I'll never forget.
Yeah, 100%. That week, that was the week of my life.
We're forever grateful. We
That
really
was
are.
the week. I mean, there's a quote that says there are years when nothing happens in your life, and there are days when years happen. And literally that week, years happened. Like, I can't explain what's happened since then. Like, I'm like a celebrity in the property world.
Well, you're getting stopped in the street now.
Yeah, I got stopped in Sainsbury's last night by 2 security guards.
What happened?
So I'm walking in the store. There's 2 guys following me. One's black, one's white. So okay, it's cool. But what?
Ellen? Were you there?
No, she wasn't there. That's all the way in Leeds, actually. I went to find a deal. So when it comes to the cashier, I heard a guy saying, "Is that him? Is that him?" So I turned around and I was just like, "What do you mean? Is that me? Like, what have I done? I haven't got no pockets. I didn't steal. Like, what happened?" He's just like, "Are you from some of your Leeds YouTube video?" And I was just laughing. The reason why I was laughing is because about 9 to 10 months ago, during the lockdown, I was working in Marks and Spencer's on the A406 in North London as a security guard, right? And now I saw Anthony Joshua while I was working there, and I was just like, "Anthony Joshua, let's take a picture." I've got a picture on my Instagram. So I actually felt what they felt when they saw me. They was just like, "Can't believe it's you, man. Wow, how's the apartment? How's Ellen? How's Samuel?" Like, and for like 2 minutes, I told the guys, "Look, man, I know you're excited, but I promise you, I was exactly where you were a few months ago. You've been to the crash course, just take action, and let's see what it works."
So these guys had already been to the crash course?
Yeah, they've been to the crash course. They're like, "Yeah, I've been there. I know Samuel. You know, I've done the crash course." I'm like, "Have you done the crash course or you've been to the crash course?" Because you cannot do the crash course. It's like going to church. Go every single week until you get it. So yeah, I think they're pumped, and hopefully they should.
Are you getting a lot of people like spotting you, messaging you on social media, doing business with you? Do you feel that from a marketing and branding perspective,
Yeah.
is it helping your business?
Oh, tremendously.
That's crazy good.
Tremendously. I'm people telling me I've got X amount of money. They showed me proof of funds. Just invested
So
everything.
that's probably why you're finding it, one of the reasons why you're finding it so easy to sell deals.
Yeah,
Because everyone knows who you are.
exactly.
And Grant Cardone says the first thing you need to get is you need to get people's attention.
Yes.
So you've certainly got that. I'm glad to see that you're delivering that as well. So hey guys, what a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming down to my house.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing the next few months.
Yep.
Get you back for an update in 6 months.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Awesome, guys. I hope you enjoyed the interview. I think you can agree. They're an absolutely fabulous couple. If you want to see the entire documentary that we did, you can check it out on the video right up here. Absolutely incredible. Check it out and share the heck out of it. If you want to see more Winners Wednesday interviews like this, you can check out an entire playlist right here. Over 100 people have been interviewed just like Evans and Ellen. And don't forget to subscribe right here. Thanks so much. See you next time.